Oh, yes, and that's right. We have yet another dose of the Full of Fail Army. I mean, FoFA news update. Yeah, I totally butchered that, but it's in the name. Full of Fail. And we deliver. Yeah, every day. On time. Even not on time. Even not requested. We just deliver the fail. It's a part of life. Damn. Anyway, so, wasn't a lot of news, at least in the VR forefront for the past couple days, so I decided to make my own little news story, and this does center around the PSVR side of things. So, if you don't like it or haven't played it, I suggest you just like, subscribe, and bugger off, but in a kind, gentle, friendly way. But I still actually recommend and invite you to check out the rest of this video as it's infotainment, and you might learn something you didn't know, or you might like something you didn't know. Yeah. We're gonna go with that. Even better if both. Yeah. We'll go with the combo. Let's go with the combo. Combo. Yeah. Okay. So this is actually a small list of the current PSVR Aim supported titles and a short list of possibly upcoming titles, as they have been announced for the platform, specifically with AIM controller support. We don't actually know if they're ever going to come to fruition, and you'll see what I mean when I get to that list if you're up on your news and game stuff. Okay, heading out to top of the list, and yes, I did do this in alphabetical order for the ones that are already out because the website showed it to me that way, and I'm just a tool. No originality. I just read it verbatim. The first one is Arizona Sunshine. Yeah, I looked to the list. That was a list. Arizona Sunshine, great title. If you haven't played it, I mean, on any platform, it's definitely deserving of your attention. In fact, I went back and played it several times over in different modes using the Move controllers and the Aim controller. And yes, they are different because it gives you the two-handed experience. You can't dual wield anything, but it makes for much interesting gameplay change as well as immersion, because the sniping is way better, but then there's parts like when you're underground and you have to operate the flashlight, it's a little bit more tense. I don't want to get too much into it if you haven't played the game, but it's actually a really great game and I highly recommend it. Let's see, Borderlands 2 VR, of course, that's a must. It's actually a really great game, and I kind of liked it over the Move controllers. Personal preference, maybe, I don't know, but I honestly just liked it better with the Aim. Let me see, Bravo Team, one of the package bundles I think right now with the PSVR Aim controller. It could have been better, but I've also played a lot worse. If anything, it's gotten me angry because it's like it seemed a little too realistic. You know, while I'm trying to line up that perfect shot around the tail end of a car, and then I get sniped through like 3 windows. Yeah, it will happen, and then it'll piss you off. But meh, still pretty decent game. Let me see, Chroma Gun. It's like a puzzle shooter, not really a shooter. So I can kind of understand why they would put the aim controller support in there, but I mean, it's not really necessary unless you just want that feel of holding like an AR-15 when you're trying to pull a block or paint a wall. Yeah. Oh, I'm sure there are people out there who want that though. So, yeah. Anyway, let me say, Crisis Brigade. Crisis VR Brigade. I just call it Time Crisis VR because that's exactly what it plays like. And it's fun if you ever play those Time Crisis arcade cabinets. It's exactly like that to a T. You know, you're taking cover and then you're getting out of cover, then shooting guys in cover, and wash, rinse, repeat. Anyway, let me see. And then the Dick Wild series. Don't know who came up with the name, but I know exactly what they were thinking and where they were heading with it. Both 1 and 2 support it, and they're simple, like arcade cabinet style shooters, kind of just simple guilty pleasure games, but enough to keep your interest. And because they have the aim control support, it's even more fun that way, I think. Let me see, Doom VFR. Yes, awesome title. And they put the F in there to make it fantastic. Actually, you know what they put the VFR in there for. So I'm just trying to make this PC, but it's actually much better in my opinion with the aim over the Move controllers. But although I did skip the tutorial, so I had no idea how to like reload or switch weapons, and it was actually caught on stream, so you can go back and watch it and then drop me a line at how pathetic I am. I'll sign you an autograph with a mushroom stamp. Anyway, let's see. Drone Striker. Relatively dated, but still fun. Think like Galaga or Centipede, but in VR and from a different point of view, and not using the IP rights or assets of any of the stuff I just mentioned. Anyway, let's see. DWVR, actually from a very prestigious developer who's done a lot of VR stuff, and the gameplay is really good as well. Highly recommend DWVR. Let's see, Evasion. There we go. Evasion's not bad. Kind of like a horde mode, shooter. It's almost like Drone Striker, but co-op. It's just you and another guy just facing waves and waves of hordes, whatever, of enemies, and different abilities, different ways to use your aim controller with those abilities and your weapons and Anyway, Farpoint. Oh my god. That's actually one of the reasons why I hate how this list was done in alphabetical order, because Farpoint was like the main thing, the main game I want to say is that it was actually bundled with the aim controller first. And if you haven't played Farpoint, oh my gosh, you really owe it to yourself to try it. The story is phenomenal. There was actually a couple of times when I actually got some tears in my eyes. And I've actually met the actor Ike. I don't want to butcher his last name, but he's actually a swell chap, and I told him everything I felt about that game, and he's just like, that's exactly what we were searching for. So you guys nailed it, spot on. Highly recommend that title. Highly recommend. In fact, there should be a part 2. I'd love a part 2. Okay, and then Firewall. Firewall 0 Hour is a required reading. It's basically Counter-Strike VR for the PSVR. Anyone who's ever touched it or played it or even seen it will agree. Again, that's why I call it required reading. It's highly addicting and fun. Let me see, and then there's the Honor and Duty series. There's 2 of them. There's the Arcade Edition and the D-Day Edition. I want to say both of them support the aim controller thing, but the one I like more is like the D-Day. It's sort of like a cartoony Battlefield feel, and yes, it's online multiplayer as well with like bots, so it's not bad. Not bad. And I want to say one or both are free, maybe just one. I don't remember which, but still, worth checking out. Let me see here. Operation Warcade. A awesome redux of a classic arcade cabinet, and there's actually a mode where it's just basically like it was, the side-scrolling arcade cabinet, but then there's actually this new sort of advanced mode for it where you sort of jump into the arcade cabinet, and then you have this better field of vision, more control. It's more immersive, more 360 feel, whereas the other one is you're literally like in the arcade room, I don't know, the arcade base, and you can actually look around other arcade cabinets and people can't interact with them. In fact, I don't think you can move away from the damn cabinet itself, but still, I like the the look and feel of it. And then Scrapper, something, Scampy, yeah. Scrapper First Strike is actually relatively new, and I think it was delayed, no, not delayed, I want to say the PSVR update was like delayed about a week after launch, but now it's out. Am I thinking Telefrag? Oh, mental breakdown online. Anyway, yeah, all that stuff. Coffee, and tuna. Match made in heaven. Let's see. Oh, the Brookhaven experiment. Heard a lot of good stuff about this, but I haven't played it yet. I should really get off my arse and try it. Once I move, I still haven't moved all this clutter. You can't see it, thank God, but I have a lot of shit, like, around me. I can't play VR to save my life right now. Let me see. The perfect sniper. And this would be logical for the aim controller because it's a sniping game. You want something with like dual hands, but I haven't really seen anything that makes this title stand out. And it's been out for a while, so you would think you would see something on it, a review or vlog. Anyway, let's see. Unearthing Mars 2, not 1, 2. They did it twice to that poor bitch. They went back and unearthed her once, and they're like, oh, we can make more money if we unearth her again. I just thought that up. I don't know. I think it's just continuing the story. I think the story had a lot more to it. Maybe there's even going to be a third. I don't know. But I do know that it actually got really good reviews, even better than the first one. And that's actually saying a lot because the first one got great reviews. So maybe it was the addition of the aim mechanics, maybe it was just the improvement graphics, better story, continuation of the story, winning the lottery, having your feet tickled with a feather. I don't know what it was. Anyway, let me see. And then Wrath. I'm going to go back to the Perfect Sniper on this one because Wrath has been out for a while. I haven't heard anything about it, haven't heard anything negative, but I haven't heard anything positive in like any fashion. So, meh. Check, please. And then, oh, this is where we're getting into the stuff that has been announced but hasn't dropped. There's some of them even haven't had really any updates, but they haven't been cancelled. And they did announce that they would be launching with AIM support. So let's get into this list with a little bit of salt throwing over the shoulder. Contagion VR Outbreak. Ooh, I know a lot of you know what this is because the PC version, when it like first released, blew people's minds away. But from what I understood, is like the lead developer programmer left the studio, and now they've been hit with massive delays. Don't even know if it's going to release, but damn it, I hope it does because it looks brilliant, and I'd like to play it. Let's see, another one's Echoes VR. Again, announced a while ago, no movement, no traction. We'll see what happens on that. Don't know anything about it. Something that had a really good title and a really interesting story was The End of the Beginning. And yeah, that's right, that was a car that just went by. I'm doing this outside in case you can't tell. I got houses around me and I'm looking at the stars. Anyway, let me see. End of the Beginning. Yeah, there's something I just mentioned about that, and that's the end of that. Gunheart. Gunheart. Okay, so I'll have to admit, when this was announced for PC, I was heartbroken, I was jealous, I was constipated and bloated, and you didn't need to know that. I was upset because I didn't think it was going to come to console, and then they announced it for console. But that was like release target date of last year. I want to say I don't really know. Again, there's been no update on it, but I really hope that this comes out because it's great. It's glorious. Check it out. Just go to a YouTube channel and look at it. It's everywhere on PC. I don't know why it needs to come to PSVR, please. Let me see. ROM extraction. Now, I don't see this happening. I would like it to, don't get me wrong, but it's done by First Contact, the people who did Firewall, and if I remember correctly, they were bought out by like an Oculus, no, not bought out, but they were hired to do an Oculus exclusive project, so I'm pretty sure all their money and talent is into that. I don't know for sure, but I'm just following the news trends here and putting things together, like a bad stitch artist, if that's even a thing. Seeking Down. And next, let's see. Shadow Core VR. Another one that no movement, no nothing. It's been a while, actually. Not even, I think, a new trailer, so probably not going to happen there. Warzone VR. Now that actually I would like to see come to fruition because that looked like Battlefield, but in VR, and it got really good marks on PC. I don't know if this was in early access, if it actually released from what I saw, but it looked like fun. Interact with vehicles, interact with buildings, shoot through windows, walls. Basically, that's why I compared it to Battlefield. Battlefield VR, think of that, and trust me, you'd want to play the shit out of that. I know I would. Let me see. Zero Caliber, another that was announced that did amazingly well in, like, I want to say test marketing or appeal. Let's just go with appeal, because it was gameplay reminded a lot of people of Black. I don't know if you remember Black back on like PS2 and original Xbox days, but that was amazeballs. And imagine that, but in VR. And that's sold. I'm done. Yes, please. Take my bottle caps. Take it all. And then what was that? Zero Killed. Wait a minute. Yeah, Zero Killed. Something else that was announced and no movement's been on it, but it seemed more like a Tom Clancy type style VR. Nothing wrong with that, but again, there's been no movement on any of those last titles that I listed that were out of alphabetical order. I want to say the last one that was definitely positive was Wrath. Coffee, please, coffee. Need my coffee. And yeah, so that rounds out the list, at least for now. We'll see what happens. I want to hold out hope, but as we've seen in the last Star Wars movies, hope gets really screwed or screwy. You know, it just messes with everything, and then nothing makes sense, and then everything you've been told is a lie, and then white is black, up is down, and you know, you have to wash your hands before you use the bathroom and not after, and then just nothing makes sense. You know, nothing makes sense. Think of the children. The children! Anyway, next video might have a clue for a giveaway. I actually wanted to put it in this video, but I thought it was going to be short, and now I'm looking at the time, it's actually longer than I thought. So, like, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. And I suddenly need to use the restroom, so this is perfect timing. Yeah, catch you all later.